When you set the consistent read parameter to true, DynamoDB returns a response with the most up-to-date data, reflecting the updates from all prior write operations that were successful. Consider this. You have an Amazon DynamoDB table, and you want to retrieve items from it using a Lambda function with strongly consistent reads. Can you do this by writing a few lines of code? Let's find out. Let's start by navigating to the DynamoDB service, then click on Create Table and give it a name. I'm going to call my table Property and enter property_ID as my partition key, which is of the type number. Let's leave all the other settings to their default values, then hit Create Table. Next, navigate to the Lambda service, click Create Function, then give your function a name. Choose Python from the Runtime dropdown, hit Create Function, then navigate to the Configuration tab. Hit Permissions in the left menu, then click on the Execution role and choose Attach Policies from the Add Permissions dropdown. Select Amazon DynamoDB Full Access Policy, then click on Add Permissions. Let's head back to the Lambda window and click on the Code tab. Here, I'm going to copy-paste pre-written Python code. The code starts by importing the Boto3 library. Then inside the Lambda handler function, I'm creating a DynamoDB resource on line 4. On line 5, I'm creating a property_table object by calling the table method and passing in the name of my DynamoDB table. On line 7, I'm creating my item, which has my partition key, property_ID, followed by additional attributes such as address, city, and state. Next, on line 14, I'm calling the put_item method to insert my item that we just created in the property table. On line 16, I'm creating a key variable which has a value of my partition key that we just inserted. On line 20, I'm calling the get_item method and passing the key as the first parameter and consistent read equal to true as my second parameter, and capturing the output in the getItem response variable. When you set the consistent read parameter to true, DynamoDB returns a response with the most up-to-date data, reflecting the updates from all prior write operations that were successful. Note eventually consistent is the default read consistent model, and it costs half the cost of strongly consistent reads. Finally, on line 22, I'm returning the getItem response variable. Hit the deploy button to deploy your changes, then click on test and hit invoke to execute your Lambda function. Looks like our function worked as expected because I can see the item that we inserted in our response output. We can also confirm this by going back to the DynamoDB window, then click on Explore Table Items. Verify that you see the property ID and the attributes that we just inserted in the Items Returned section. There you have it. But before you go, here's a question for you. Why did the Amazon DynamoDB table go to the gym?